As another Hispanic Heritage Month winds down, many Hispanic Americans are reminding people that Hispanic history should never be forgotten, regardless of the month. That's right. Fox 44's PJ Hessner spoke with the museum chairman of the Waco Hispanic Museum about how he intends to keep that history alive.
For years, museum chairman Luis Garcia says it was almost impossible to find even a hint of Latino history here. It's history he wants to discover, preserve, and share for generations to come.
We look in the books and look in history books, and there's not much evidence that we've ever existed here.
Garcia was born and raised in Central Texas. His lifelong mission is telling the stories about Waco's Hispanic community.
But that's going to take time, and that's what needs to be done.
In 2016, the Hispanic Museum opened its doors. Locals donated items from Latinos who settled in Central Texas many decades ago.
The Hispanics owned this territory back in the days when Mexico owned the territory in the 1700s, 1800s. People like La Vega School over here, Ocampo, Sanchez, Martinez, they owned all the property in Waco and along the Brazos.
Today, artifacts line the shelves. Photos document families working on cotton farms. The vibrant mariachi jackets and pants fill what were once empty walls, all unraveling stories of Waco's past.
A photograph, speaks 1,000 words, and so we still have a lot of photographs that we need to identify and put names and numbers with, and so I think that would tell the story more than anything in the few articles that we may have collected.
Garcia is proud to know he's one of the first to document this history.
Special place to me, with all the hard work that I've done and all the people that I've talked to, is very important.
But his work isn't done. He's on a mission to uncover more Latino history.
I think everybody has a story to tell. We all have a unique story. And that's the important thing, to try to get those stories out, because some people don't think their stories are that important, but they may be a hope for somebody else.
The Waco Hispanic Museum is located at 2815 Spate Avenue in the same building as the South Waco Recreation Center.
Now to a few notable trailblazers within the Hispanic community who paved the way for many others to follow. Cesar Chavez, born in the late 1920s, was an American labor leader and civil rights activist. He co-founded the National Farm Workers Association, which later merged with the Agricultural Workers Organization Committee to become the United Farm Workers Labor Union. Chavez was born in Yuma, Arizona, to a Mexican-American family, and he was a manual laborer before spending 2 years in the U.S. Navy. While alive, controversy surrounded Chavez. Critics of the UFW claimed he was too controlling, citing the purges of those who seemed disloyal. He became an icon for organized labor and leftist groups in the U.S. Posthumously, he became a folk saint among Mexican Americans. In 1994, he posthumously received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
U.S. Justice Sonia Sotomayor is another great example in the Hispanic community. Nominated by President Barack Obama in 2009, Sotomayor is the first woman of color, the first Hispanic, and the first Latina to serve on the Supreme Court. Sotomayor was born in the Bronx to Puerto Rican parents. She graduated summa cum laude from Princeton University in 1976 and received her Juris Doctor from Yale Law School in 1979. Sotomayor was nominated to the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York by President George H.W. Bush in 1991. In 1997, she was nominated by President Bill Clinton to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. And finally, in May of 2009, President Barack Obama nominated Sotomayor to the Supreme Court following the retirement of Justice David Souter. While on the court, Sotomayor has supported the informal liberal bloc of justices.
And then there's Roberto Clemente, who was a Puerto Rican professional baseball player who played 18 seasons in Major League Baseball for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Born in Carolina, Clemente was a track and field star and an Olympic hopeful in his youth before deciding to turn his full attention to baseball. He was the National League Most Valuable Player in 1966, the National League batting leader for several years with 3,000 hits during his major league career. Sadly, the two-time World Series champion died in December of 1972 while working to help people in need. plane he had chartered crashed while taking emergency relief goods to the survivors of a massive earthquake in Nicaragua. In 1973, Clemente was posthumously inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, becoming the first inductee from the Caribbean and Latin America.